Hello everyone, Ariskello here. I wanted to make a quick video just kind of going over things that I see when I'm watching Twitch that kind of annoy me and probably annoy a lot of the viewers in general. Um, I'm talking about a lot of things, but this will mostly apply to a hardcore classic WoW. Um, the main thing is just kind of having your what you're showing be good for you and for the viewer. You don't want a super cluttered UI is the main thing. You can see I use what they call tuck UI because it's very minimalistic. It kind of keeps things out of the way. Um, Ideally, you could just use the standard WoW UI because it's what most people are familiar with. But if you don't make too many changes to that, it'll be fine, and the viewer should be able to make small assumptions about what's changed and where things are, and how to find the information that they want to know. So, most importantly, I look at my UI, and the first thing I notice is that there's no way to see my level. On hardcore, people like watching higher level players because they have more of a thing to lose, so the risk is higher, and it's more entertaining because it's more tense. So this is a weak aura up here. This level 1 is a weak aura. I have it set because I play a lot of level 60s as well. To, and obviously it's not needed at max level. And when you're playing by yourself, you know what level you are as a player. This is just for viewers. So I have this set to turn off whenever my character is level 60. So that'll just straight up go away. Um, Weak auras can be a little confusing to set up, but you can see this is a lot of information for the average person. But basically all you want to do is go down here to where it says trigger, click level, and you want it to be less than 60. So really simple to set up, helps tremendously. Um, I've been talking to a couple of people to try to get a playtime week aura to kind of match this one and kind of fit underneath it, because that's a lot thing that a lot of people will ask as well is, oh, what's your playtime at? And again, this is basically because they want to know how invested you are in this character, and what there is to lose. So that's the main thing. The next thing down here where my camera is, which I'll hide real quickly here, you can see I have a chat box, and anything that gets typed will pop up down here in the chat box. This includes anything in your party. This includes anything in your guild, whispers, Battle.net friends. All that will pop up down here on my UI. It's kind of common courtesy to hide that because sometimes people whisper you or talk about personal things in guild chat. It's just you know just for their sake, you might want to cover it up. But also, if you're streaming to Twitch or streaming to YouTube, some people might say some non-TOS friendly stuff, and you definitely don't want that getting out there. If someone's, being sexist, racist, etc. You don't want that attached to you. And even though you're not saying it personally, at least I hope not, you're broadcasting it, and you're responsible for whatever content you put out there. And I wish, at the end of the day, everyone never used certain words or never acted certain ways, but you can't control other people. So the other thing that I have on my UI down here on the bottom right box, so everyone can see this isn't covered up. This will show, experience I gain. It'll show loot I gain, my weapon skill levels up. A lot of information will go down here. So just to show real quick, my axe skill just went up, my defense skill went up. This is all viewable by everyone because I don't have this covered up, and it all goes over there. You gain 50 experience. You looted these items. Again, all for the viewer to see. It also kind of shows a little bit of information down here for me, my FPS. If I'm experiencing frame drops in games, that means my stream is also experiencing frame drops. My latency, because I know where that should be, like from day to day. 46 is a little high for me, but if I have something going on in the background, or if I'm streaming, or if my roommate's doing something, that's going to go up again. I also have an experience bar here. This might be a little not great for the viewer because it's not in the normal spot, which would be about right here, at the bottom, right below the weapon skills. But again, it's kind of mixing what you like and what the viewer will like. So, one second. Alright, so another thing I like, and I got this from the Discord, but this Trophy GCD that I just messed with the settings for will put whatever skill I use down here and slowly go over. So it's not going to show anything auto attack wise, but I did Heroic Strike, so I put that up there. This gets really helpful if I'm spamming a lot of skills and it's kind of hard to see what I'm doing. This doesn't serve any purpose to me. I know what skills I'm pressing. I know what's happening. This is just purely to help the viewer. And it's not taking up, any of my real estate for the most part. It's just a small thing that helps out. The other thing, when I got into combat, you'll see, is this is my damage over here. This is the damage that the mob's doing over here. Very easy to see, very centralized. I also play with health bars on over the mob so you can see what the health bar is of the enemy, but that's also, very big and in the center down here. A lot of the stuff, is very simple when you think about it, but is often overlooked. Real quick too, a lot of people, they don't know where to get this stuff, all these add-ons. So there's multiple different apps. You used to be able to do in the Twitch app. They sold the rights to a company called CurseForge. I do not like the CurseForge app, so I do not use it. It runs in the background. Even if you close it out, there's processes running. It's very memory intrusive. Some people believe that they have, they're using processes for other things, and I don't like it. I use what they call wowup.io, and this is a very lightweight program, and it's also a little bit better than Overwolf in the fact that, if you're trying to get add-ons, if you search for something, let's search for Guideline, for example, it'll show you where it's coming from. So a lot of these are going to come from Curse because that's the most popular thing, site to host stuff. I'm trying to find one that is not on Curse. I can't find any currently. Here we go. So this will say provider Tuck UI. This is coming from the Tuck UI site itself. So it's bypassing the need to go to Curse, whereas Overwolf and CurseForge, those are purely going off of Curse. So this has access to even more add-ons. It's just another nice thing. Just to kind of go over my list. This is for my main character. This kind of helps out. Again, this is for a different, another level 60 character. another level 60 character. Weak ores is the level 1 thing up here. Weak ores can do tons and tons and tons of other stuff. It's very complicated code for the average user, but if you are just looking for something, you can go to the CurseForge website, or I'm sorry, the Weak Ore website. Search for like what you're looking for. Like, I wanted on my paladin a Weak Ore that said like whenever someone Viper stung me, so I searched for Viper Sting, and sure enough, you can just import the string here, and then you can move these around. You can set up different triggers, which are not very hard. Just very simple things, and like it's there's thousands and thousands of these, so it's kind of hard to just tell you which ones to download. You kind of have to like look through it yourself. But a very very good add-on to have. Latrix Maps. So this is Latrix Maps. It'll do a few different things. My Tuck UI is trying to do the same things that it's doing, but it'll show you where your cursor's at, like the coordinates. So if you ever like look online for quest help and they'll tell you coordinates, you can find those out. It'll tell your player coordinates. But the most important thing that I like is that it'll show you the whole map and kind of have a fog of war of the undiscovered places. So you can see Valley of Trials here is lit up. That's because I am in Valley of Trials. I've already discovered Valley of Trials. Once I go to Sinjin, that will light up as well. And you can go see Barrens here. Everything's grayed out because I haven't been to the Barrens yet. I'm level 1. It'll also show you a couple other things like these Zeppelins, which a new player might have trouble finding. If you're Alliance, it will show you the boat locations if you're close to them, like on the mini map. It will also, if you go here, it'll also show you the mailboxes and the flight masters. Like this is all coming from Latrix. So it's a very nice add-on to have, just for navigation wise. While I go through this list again, I'm going to grab a quest just for another thing. Nova World buffs will put this little thing on your map to kind of tell you like the cooldown of these. Just because it says no timer does not necessarily mean that this information's right. It syncs up with your guild and will also sync up in the zone that you're in. So if I'm sitting in Orgrimmar, this information will likely be a lot more accurate. You can also, in chat, type exclamation point WB, and if someone else has Nova World buffs, it'll force them to post the timers that they have. So if you just join a guild and you're looking for world buff timers, you can just type that and it'll help you out. So I came back here to grab a quest real quick to show you their very, very popular add-on. These exclamation points up here, these are coming from an add-on called Questy. So World of Warcraft Classic will not have exclamation like the quest like on your map mini map as it is. So that kind of helps out in finding quests, but also you can now see like once I pick up that quest, there's these boars these swords all over the map. And these are showing me where to go to get the quest objective. It also like make a small list over here that'll kind of show you like your quest objectives in a quick way, so you don't have to like bring up your quest log and see all these. If you also mouse over this stuff, or if you're close to the mob, sometimes it'll show you nearby people who are also using that add-on, and you can see 2 nearby people already because this is a very popular add-on, so a lot of people are using it, just so you can like kind of gauge how cluttered a questing zone is. This is very, very, very useful for people who have never played a certain faction, or going to a new zone, or have never played World of Warcraft Classic in general, first time users. This guideline right here, so Guideline is meant to be, at the end of the day, a guide. It's not, you don't have to follow this exactly. But at the same time, again, if you're a new player, you don't know like a lot of questing zones, so you can like load up. There, multiple people write their own guides for this. My personal favorite on Horde is this tactics hardcore route because it's catered specifically for hardcore. So there's no purposeful deaths to get around quicker, and it kind of cuts back on you trying to do higher level quests just for the sake of efficiency, and kind of adds a little bit more grinding to it. But you can see here, it's telling me, where it wants me to go. It's putting an arrow on my screen, and it's giving me a list of objectives to complete. And you can see down here, it'll even tell you like when it wants you, if you're too low experience for like what it wants you to do, it'll tell you. And these are all made by users, so you kind of have like a varying level of quality with some of them. I do not like, this is the one that comes standard with Guideline bustiers. I do not like this one. There's a crazy amount of grinding on it, and this is someone who plays a lot of their characters on rested experience. I ran into issues where it's telling me to grind 80%, of a level. It'll tell you to do like one quest on a level, and then they'll tell you to grind the rest of the level. And quite frankly, that's not fun for most people. And grinding in World of Warcraft is kind of, inevitable, but at the same time, you want to kind of minimize it for most people. Tactics guide's also not very complete. There is I know it was at one point a work in progress, and once you get to higher levels, you kind of like want to cater your leveling more to your style. Certain classes like hunters and mages and warlocks, they don't really need gear to like level well, so they can like kind of keep doing yellow quests. But most melee classes and gear dependent classes will kind of like want to drop back, like the level of quests they're doing. So it's kind of opened into that area. This Zarant one. Zarant is a speedrunner. A lot of these will tell you to purposely kill yourself. Yeah, right here, die on purpose. Because when you die, you will travel. Like if I die here, I'm going to travel back to the Valley of Trials because that's like the nearest res person. So you kind of have to be careful with this. And like I said, it is, it's a guide. It's not, direct orders. It's not mandatory of you falling into the T. It's just a suggestion. I will use this if I am, again, like just playing like a race I don't want to, I'm not familiar with, or a faction I'm not familiar with, or if I kind of want to turn off my brain and just, have someone, tell me what to do, and I can just, watch Netflix or something. Questy again is, I just showed you Questy. All the things, again, is for my level 60 character. It kind of gives you a list of every single quest in the game, and every single collectible thing in the game. It's not for everyone, I'll put it that way. Atlas loot is very nice if you are doing hardcore dungeons. You can click here, go to dungeons and raids, and they'll have every dungeon listed, their level range for their stones, but also like whatever each boss drops. You can see if it's worth it to go into each dungeon. This little icon over here is for rare spawns. It's very nice, and if you're not familiar with like what dungeons drop and the level range, because hardcore adheres to these level range rules. So very nice. Pali Power makes buffing for paladins easy. It's useful in hardcore, just like so to keep your blessing up, but again, not mandatory at all. The hardcore add-on will do a few things. First off, if I log out, it will give me a notification to remind me to record. It'll pop up. It'll also pop up in the middle of your screen whenever someone in your guild dies who also has the add-on, who's also playing hardcore. So it kind of gives you like a better sense of community, and lets you know to pay respects to your fallen comrades. Another nice thing it'll do, it will take a screenshot every single time you level up. So it might not be great for people who haven't made it to 60, but if you make it to 60, it's kind of giving you like a little memoir of your journey to 60 with little screen caps of information. It also, for the speedrunners, it will post your time played per level in your chat. It'll be on my UI, it'll be on the bottom left chat, unfortunately, so my webcam covers it up. But it's nice to know, just a level of speed that you're doing. There's also like this leaderboard on here. I don't know how accurate it is because I've seen some like weird anomalies on here, so it might be a little glitchy. It also will tell you how many total people have died. Again, I don't know how accurate this is because, well, one, it's only tracking the people who have the add-on, but it's also, I think it's might also be region dependent. So if like European players will see a different number than the Horde player or the North American players will see, and if you're playing China, you'll also see a different number maybe. I remember seeing a spreadsheet on the hardcore deaths, and the number was way higher than that 5,751, which is still quite a, frankly, an astounding number. My WoW went away. Let's bring that back up. Item rack. This is mostly for level 60. You can set different gear sets up. So if you need to swap between gears, you can set it up and have hotkeys up here. You can set it to a keybind if you want to. A little nice to have. It'll only show you like you're only taking account of the items that are highlighted, like in your sets too. But it's nice for like if you want to have a spirit set like on a mage for mana regen, and a spell power set, to do more damage, or an intellect set, for AoE farming, you can do that, or a plus healing set for dungeons on a priest, or plus damage set, for leveling up. It's nice in that regard. This mixed scrolling combat text, that is the one that is doing this, the information around the sides. This again is outgoing damage over here. This is incoming damage over here, and it'll also do incoming heals. You can have it to set up a lot more modifiers. If you want to, combat modifiers. If you have it set up that way, it'll show you the loot that you receive up here. It'll show you weapon skill gains, reputation gains. It'll do all that if you want it to. I have mine more set minimalistic, again, because that's the information that I want, and that's the information that I think my viewers want. Salad Cthulhu is for my level 60 character. That's just for the boss fight Cthulhu. It kind of gives you a map. Titan panel. This is Rest Plus. This will let me keep track of all the rested experience I have on my characters. And it's not completely accurate because I think it's based off of old data. But the easiest way to think about it is that you get full rested in 10 days if you're inside of an inn. And if you are outside of an inn, it's 150 days. It's 10 times the speed. So you can kind of keep track of, play your characters like once a week or once every 2 weeks if you really want to, push your rest experience up there. Titan panel in general will give you like a lot of information. I have mine hidden because a lot of this information, I don't want this just cluttering up the top of my screen. I kind of want my UI to be a lot cleaner than what it's allowing up here. But again, my own rest experience, because this is coming from an add-on for this add-on, it'll show you my overall durability, my barrier cost if I go to vendor, my open bags, my total gold on the realm. It'll tell you some like leveling stuff. A nice thing down here is the kills to level at your last XP gain. So like, if I'm grinding mobs, I can see that like, I need to kill 3 more of those boars. If I just like want to see like, just quickly get like a level from not doing quests and my location. It'll also tell you the time, because I have mine hidden on my UI. Trophy GCD is the one that was popping up down here, showing what buttons I'm pressing. That's Trophy. I have mine moved down and set to show more, because initially it only shows like 3 different skills. So I have mine set like a little bit longer. Uniscan. Uniscan's a big one. It comes empty right away. But if I type in, I believe it's just plus modeled or nope, maybe /Uniscan model. There it goes. So I just told it to like look for model boars. So obviously this is a model board that I'm like looking at already. So it pops up, flashes my whole screen, and puts this in here. So like if I'm not targeting it, I can just click that, and I'll target it and put an icon on it. This works really well if you have it set up for quest mobs that are named quest mobs, not stuff where you have to kill 10 of them or 20 of them or 40 of them or whatever. But like when it's where you have to kill like a specific boss. But also it'll help out a lot to avoid certain mobs. I know on the line side there is a rare that comes from, I believe it's Burning Steps, it might be Searing Gorge, but one of these 2 zones that a person likes to keep kiting all the way to Stormwind, and it's like a level 46 rare mob that does AoE damage. You can set it up to be like, let me know if that player is around me or that rare mob is around me, to kind of give you a heads up before you pan your camera and see that. It also works with a lot of the Questy guides. It will, if it knows that you're doing a quest where you have to kill a boss mob, it'll automatically add that to your list of Uniscan targets. I'm just taking off that model boar off my Uniscan real quick. What's training? This is really nice if you don't know your character specifically, because it'll tell you what levels that you get each skill. It'll tell you what's available right now. It'll tell you how much it costs. Very helpful to know if you need to take a trip back to the class trainer. It'll also tell you warlock stuff too. There'll be another tab down here for your pets. This Deja Classic Stats, this is changing the way that this UI looks on my screen. So it's putting an item level over the item, and it's giving me this extra information over here, which is a lot more than what the standard UI shows. This is very helpful too for if you lose footage, it'll kind of quickly show if you've changed any gear, because obviously if this goes from like 1 item level to 10 item level, that item has been changed. You can also, in the interface options, have a lot more information coming through here. You kind of have to like look through this yourself to have it set up the way you want. I like mine pretty minimalistic, so I just have it set up that way. It'll also move, there's usually information down here and up here and up here. It'll move all the stuff so you can get like a better picture of your character. Details is nice for a few different reasons. open that up real quick. So there's a lot of information come with details. So first thing is, this is my cumulative damage at 14, 21. This is my DPS. So I can kind of adjust my rotation, like if I had Heroic Strike, I see that DPS number going up. So I know it's beneficial to use Heroic Strike. There's also a lot of extra information in here, like if you get into a close encounter or if you die, to kind of understand like why you die. You can see here that I had a total of 6 hits. 4 of them were normal, 2 of them were defenses, as they put it, which one of them was a nudge and one of them was a glancing. So it kind of gives you like a breakdown of how all your different skills are. There is a lot more information in here. You can, in a dungeon, you can like look at what your healer's doing. You can look at the damage taken, to see like how much like a piece of armor might help you. This guy doesn't have any skills, but it'd show all the different skills. So, for example, like the Devised Pillagers, they hit with the fireball that hits for a lot of damage. You'd be able to see, that damage in here, and what it kind of helps to make decisions in combat. Like if you look at the information, right? Like if a mob casts 2 different spells and you almost die, you can look at that and be like, what spell should I try to interrupt next time? Should I interrupt the fireball or should I interrupt the frostbolt? And you can see the fireball does on average 300 damage, the frostbolt does on average 200 damage. So in that case, you'd want to interrupt the fireball, so he'll still cast the frostbolt, but he's not doing casting the fireball anymore. So it's nice in that regard. Again, there is a lot of information in this add-on. I won't go over all of it. This is, again, mainly used to analyze, different aspects and improve your gameplay in a way that is, more analytical and less reactionary. I typically have it hidden for stream just to, again, clear up my UI more. But some people keep it up all the time. This Gathermate 2 Classic will, anytime you gather something, it'll put it on your map so you know that it can spawn on that location again. It's very useful for herbalism and mining. It will not show those until you pick up the profession, but if I went and picked up mining, you'd see all sorts of copper ore all over the zone, and kind of get an idea if you're trying to just run through a zone and gather stuff, kind of a hot route to take to get by the most node spawns. The last thing I wanted to cover is just your stream quality. This is a really big thing, and it's kind of the hardest thing, which is why I kept it for last. You can notice my stream right now is running, I believe I have mine set at 30 frames per second at 72 or 720p resolution. It's more important to have a consistent frame rate than it is to have max graphical settings. I can pump this up, probably to even 4K at 60 frames per second, but it's not going to run completely smoothly at 60 frames per second. And it's more important for me to have that consistent 30 plus frames per second with no frame drops, no weird compression going on, no weird syncing issues. You want it to be consistent, and a lot of people will have issues with this, when they first start streaming World of Warcraft. And you can change settings, there I'm sorry. System settings, there we go. You can change this all around. Obviously I have mine maxed out. WoW's not a very taxing game. More importantly, there is this information out here. This output information is very important to mess around with. A lot of the newer cards will have hardware encoding. I have a very good processor, but a very bad graphics card, so I have mine set to software. That's basically what that means. This bit rate, that's basically how much bandwidth you're using. I have mine set at 6,000. It stays pretty consistent. You can drop this down to 4,000, 3,000. It'll still be pretty good based off of your resolution. Furthermore, you can go in the audio. I have mine, in this case, set to 1920 by 1080, but 30 frames per second. FPS and resolution are two completely different beasts. If I set this to 720p, it's almost half the pixels being rendered. If I set this up to 15 frames per second, which I don't recommend doing, again, it's half of the data being sent out. So you can see like how, if I change this up to 1440p and change this up to 16 FPS, I'm over doubling like the processing and the bandwidth required for that. So you do a few test streams, mess with these settings, look online to see settings that people are using that work out for them, and kind of, mess with those settings. The other thing I highly recommend is having a webcam. It doesn't need to be a perfect webcam. Mine is, I think, from 2008 now. It's just something to see, reactions, just to people can better react to your channel. If I'm just like, oh, come on, no, don't kill me, like they can see that on my face, and it helps them a lot more. Also, like, like the voice chat thing too, like you can communicate. Like if I just type down here yada yada yada, you can see this down here and I'm communicating with you, but it's a lot easier for me to just sit there and talk to you. But also you can also hear like the inflections of my voice, like my voice changing tone. If I'm talking faster, I'm getting more excited. I might be getting more nervous, if I increase my the volume of my voice. I might be angry, I might be scared. Like positive and negative emotions are a big thing of entertainment. So like if you can have a webcam, have a microphone, just to let people connect with you more. Twitch is a lot different than TV because there's a connection going on there. Like if someone in my chat says something, I can read that and I can respond to that. You do not get that with TV. I'm not watching, Drive by Nicholas Winding Refn and being like, hey Ryan Gosling. He's not turning the camera and being, hey Eric. Like that doesn't happen. And you need to play into those things as a streamer. And just do what you can to kind of interact with people and cater that to how you see fit. Some people might not see like a huge need to read every message. I'd like to, like even when I'm a viewer, like I will stay out of channels that have 1,000 viewers because chat goes by too fast. I can't read what people are saying. The streamer's not reading what everyone's saying, and I don't see a purpose of it. I'm not saying that Asmongold or Stay Safe or S-Fan aren't entertaining, but it's not the Twitch experience that I typically want, and therefore I can't see it being what I want for my viewers. I hope a lot of this information is helpful to all you people. If you have any questions, I'm always available on Discord. I don't stream too terribly often right now. It's usually only once or twice per week because it is just a hobby for me. But I'm on Twitch a lot. You know, like I understand the Twitch infrastructure. I understand, entertainment in general. I like to think because I watch a lot of movies. I watch a lot of TV. I play a lot of video games. It's all entertainment. But let me know, if I can give my advice, if I can help out in any way, and I'll try to do that. I know this was a very long video, but I hope it was helpful.